The best podcast in the world. You guys can blame Law for us being late.
Yeah.
Blame. What do we call them? On the move Law.
On the move, man.
I'm not taking no more blame. I'm putting the blame on my new DC Law Nation. I'm not doing what Brian Schottenheimer is doing and stay patient.
Scott, what do I say? Let them wait.
Let them wait. Yeah, I'll be saying that randomly at the crib, by the way.
Law Nation, John Machota, Skywalker Steele. We have a loaded show. Y'all see the new digs? How we looking, guys? Thumbs up if you like the new layout. I'm just saying we making this thing official. Somebody tweet this out. We look official. My man John got his bush out. You see what I'm saying?
Whoa.
Law got his beard combed. What? John got his hair out. What are you talking about? What do you think I was talking about?
Hey, yo, that's what I'm gonna say. Keep going, man.
Let's go.
He got a bush. John got a fro.
Hey, man.
Stop.
Come on, man. We don't gotta pause everything. Oh my god.
I just said keep
All
it.
right, play it. Play.
Hey, what episode is it? What episode is it?
61.
Crazy.
61.
Episode 61.
I don't know what player. What player is 61?
Oh, let's see here. We got
Nate Newton. What Nate Newton? What
Nate Newton was one.
Nate Newton.
Well, I'm thinking 66.
Bill Nagy.
Okay.
Bill Nagy. That time period was terrible. Phil Costa, Bill Nagy, Kyle Koger. Shout out to Kyle Koger though.
Adam Redmond.
That was some years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
61 is an ugly
Nate
number,
Newton.
bro.
Big Nate.
Episode Big Nate.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah,
That's
man.
yeah.
62 is pretty bad.
Oh,
Who's that TJ Bass? He'll be playing this week.
there we go.
Yeah.
Brian Baldinger was 62. Okay. Some people might know him from his
Hey, body break.
Twitter videos.
Yeah. Screaming at the screen.
Oh, his hands. Have you ever seen Baldy's hands?
Yeah, he's got a real jacked up finger
Yeah.
Oh man.
that he never got fixed.
Hey, we got a lot to talk about. The coordinators talk today, John. As always, we're gonna start with here's Johnny. And then we're gonna break down the Packers and the Cowboys. And if there's any way, I pray that the Cowboys can get a first down versus the Green Bay Packers. I just feel a lot of, oh my God, doom and gloom. But first, John Machota, how are we feeling and what's going on down in Dallas?
I'd say the most positive thing from today is that I saw DeMarvion Overshown do a little bit of work with his helmet on, which we have not seen up to this point. And so that would be the biggest positive out of today. Yes, we get to talk to the coordinators. Yes, it's on the record, and they're very good at not giving us or saying anything. I mean, Matt Eberflus today, I tweeted out the highlights of the whatever it was, 10, 15 minutes. I mean, he is not sharing anything. He didn't when he was in Chicago as the head coach, and he had to talk, 3-4 days a week. So not a lot you can pull from there other than the fact that they talked about simplifying things on the defense to now several of their calls. They've trimmed them down where they're only one word. So we'll see if that helps. I think that more importantly, what'll probably help is that Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland, and Triquez too were all full goes. So that's an improvement. They were limited yesterday, and actually Trayvon Diggs didn't even go yesterday. So looks like your corners are going to be about as healthy as they've been in a while. I don't know how much that will help, but we'll find out. Those are probably the biggest takeaways there so far. I mean, obviously everybody's being asked about going up against Micah. I don't think that anybody has said anything that is anything that you wouldn't expect. So nothing real noteworthy there. And frankly, I really don't care to hear anybody talk right now. I need to see another game because off of these last two performances, particularly on defense, I need to see more on the field. I really don't care what has to be said there. George Pickens today did say that there's going to be more on his route tree now with him being, he's the one now for sure with CeeDee Lamb out. So that'll be interesting to see what that entails, because I certainly would expect the Packers to do everything to take away George Pickens now, make anybody else beat you other than him. And that would be my expectation. So I keep going back to, if you tell me that somehow the Cowboys are able to pull an upset here, it's They're going to have to take the ball away, and they're going to have a lot of success running with Javonte Williams and having some long possessions. So maybe that happens. I don't know, but I can tell you that they're not saying this to us, but I certainly would believe that they are going to do everything in their power to not let Micah Parsons just be the one that wins this game. If it ends up being Rashawn Gary, if it ends up being, Cooper, who knows? Could be Van Ness, but it cannot be Micah Parsons. So you chip, you do whatever extra help you have to do there, running backs, tight ends. You do not let him be the reason that the Packers, dominate this game.
You're right.
What did you get, John, from the press conference when it comes to Shoddy yesterday? Did you get anything in the walk-off? Obviously, said they were looking to changes. Oh, he doesn't? Okay.
He doesn't do a walk-off, yeah.
Interesting.
No.
Well, the reason why I asked is because he did say that they would look into changes after seeing how the guys practice.
Yeah.
There would be certain things that they would talk about on Friday, like, hey, we want to do this, or we wouldn't go there. So, any nuggets.
From what I saw at practice and that, I haven't seen any major changes in terms of personnel groupings. Okay. Now, that is only watching like the first 15, 20 minutes before, that's what we're able to watch. But the biggest simplifying thing that has been shared is that on the calls, they've trimmed them down. That's been the biggest thing. So
one word calls is crazy. That's some of the stuff I use with my kids. It's like, bro,
100%.
Yeah. That's actually kind of crazy.
And here's the thing, like, I understand that you didn't play a lot of these guys in the preseason, but how is this still an issue? You had all of training camp. I know it's a new coordinator. A lot of teams have new coordinators. So how is that? I'm not saying that you can't have a subpar defense, but to look as bad as they have the last two games, like, there's not much you're going to tell me on the mic that I'm going to be like, oh, okay, well, that got it. That makes sense. Right. Like, you're just, guys, we get to watch these games. That's what matters, So there can't be any more of the training camp stuff or the preseason stuff of saying that, well, don't be too critical. Everything's pretty vanilla. No. So these games, these last three, these count. So it can't be vanilla anymore. It can't be 7-iron anymore. And going back and watching some of the last game, one of the things I was going to tell you guys is the way they've played defensively these last two games has changed the way I feel about the opener. Because I left the opener thinking, man, if just CD hangs on to a couple of these passes, Cowboys win that game. Right. No, they don't. You leave any time on the clock, Philly would have had to throw the ball.
Well,
they decided not to throw the ball because they didn't need to. And they probably didn't even know how bad this Cowboys secondary was.
Yeah, that second half was different, though, John.
What's that?
That second half was different. The offense couldn't do anything in that second half because they got a chance to go adjust. Remember, we started heating them up. They played. Right. I came out that Eagles game like you, a sense, oh, man, I thought this defense could pick up in the second half, not realizing that third half where they went and made adjustments was a mirage. They kind of had a cheat code because they got a chance to go adjust in the middle of a game. So you got to completely throw that second half out, in my opinion.
But I'm saying if the Eagles were never behind, so you put their backs against the wall late where they have to throw, I'm not convinced that they don't just go right down the field in 45 seconds and just score an answer. I mean, did Jalen Hurts throw any deep balls? Because I remember one, and it was completed.
One.
You know what I'm saying? One on Elon. You got to play to win the game. You got 45 seconds, a minute. I'm not completely convinced after what I've seen the last 2 weeks that they wouldn't have went right down the field on them.
No, I'm not convinced after the last 2 weeks, but I'd have been convinced after the second or the third and fourth quarter. I would have felt a little convinced at that.
What point. Are they doing at Scott? What are they doing at third and fourth quarter that you like defensively?
Literally started heating them up. They made Jalen Hurts think. We always laugh about it in our group text when teams start. You always be texting me, yo, blitz his ass. When they blitz him, he gets a little happy feet. He can't see things. And this was you made a great point. The first game of the season against a coordinator who's never called plays. I didn't think they knew a counter. We saw the Eagles offense struggle for the first half last week. So they're trying to get it together with their new coordinator. You caught them at a good time. The Cowboys had that advantage. But since then, that's why I said before this game, 7 of the 9 quarters you've played on defense have been atrocious. 7 of the 9. That's why I was like, we'll see in this Bears game. And then look, boom, again.
Yeah, Bears game. Yep. Before we get to the Bears game, because we'll, on Thursdays, if you guys are new here, what we do is me and Sky kind of give our nuggets what the film says, and then we kind of let John and Law piggyback in. I want to talk a little bit more about changes because I don't think that we got to dive into what changes. So I want to go around panel and, man, like, what changes do you guys want to see? Anybody has the floor. I know, like, I'll just take one from me, for example. Me and Steele were talking about a pre-show. I think that this line is compromised. I don't think it's a bad line, but I think it's compromised and it can be had. I still believe in this D line, especially if you, number one, I don't want to see Sam Williams or Dante Fowler anymore, especially not starting. John, you made the point last week where it's just like Fowler is who he is, and that is a pitcher. I mean, we're my baseball people. Who are the pitchers in baseball that you hire to close games? I don't know anything about baseball.
John Smokes, baby.
But like, who are those guys who are the names who can just close a game? But if they got to pitch more than one game, they just can't do it. But they can close a game. Like, that's who Fowler is.
That's most closers in baseball are like that.
Yeah. Okay. So
they don't do.
You asked them to even throw one inning in the eighth.
Smokes started off as a full pitcher, then he transitioned to closer. So they do that a lot too.
Hey, what was Sky? What was Kurt? Was Kurt Schilling a pitcher?
No, he was ace.
Okay,
he was an ace. He was a starter.
He was a guy.
One of the best I've ever seen in postseason.
All right, for sure. Yeah. See, hey, baseball talking, you get it all on the collective. My point is this still. Dante Fowler, and you're out of there.
Yeah.
What is he?
3 strikes.
What do they do, John? John, what is it? You are out, buddy. Until you want to play football the right way, look me in the eyes. You're gone. Sam. Now, people have come at me with this. And Sky, stop me, John, Law. Am I wrong for saying Sam, you're being too hard on Sam because of him coming back for the injury? Okay, cool. Thank you, Sky. Now I can get to go in. I don't think I would am either because we haven't seen anything. He's running down people's faces. He's not. Has he even had a tackle for loss this year?
It's just tough.
I think so in the Eagles game. I think the last possession where they're just trying to run the clock out. I think he got one.
I know Nealon has been way more active.
It's just tough for me when I look at these edge rushers because I'm used to watching like a Micah Parsons. Like, he's been ramping up each game. So I think this past game he played about 53 snaps, which is pretty on par with what he played throughout his time with the Cowboys. Those 4 years is between like about 50 to 55, give or take, but that was right around what it averaged out at the end of the year. This crew right now is rolling with Sam Williams. That's 37 a game. Nealon, 28. Fowler, 26. Ezeraku, 25. James Houston, 13. Okay. So just to give you a comparison, like last year, so the Panthers were playing Clowney like 40-43. That's not what the Cowboys are looking for from him. But even them, like, they were looking at him as like he was going to be a 40-43 guy at 31 years old, And there's nobody in the Cowboys that are even getting that many snaps right now. So it's not even like their rotation is pretty wide open. There's like nobody that, I guess what I'm getting at is if any of them were playing really well, you would have them 10, 15 snaps more than what they're playing right now. But nobody is really, there's nobody you can say, oh, well, he's playing really well, so you got to keep him on the field.
Yeah. But what they're doing is pass rush by committee then. And if you don't have that guy that can be a consistent pressure guy, they can get to the quarterback, you're trying to figure out who can be that guy. And like you said, they haven't found that guy yet. So Jadeveon Clowney, what y'all thinking? And he's going to get, 20?
That's a good number. I would say, yeah.
I'll go with the same number I had I thought he was going to play, and he seemed a little pissed off.
He thought he was going to play.
He did not seem happy about that. I don't know what his move was looking like in the locker room, John, but
yeah, no,
I'll go with 20.
He wasn't. And when Schottenheimer said earlier in the week that they had a good talk before the game, I knew it was that Jadeveon wasn't happy that he didn't get a chance to play. So, yeah, like, I think he looks at it as, you guys aren't even asking me to play the 40, 50 snaps I was playing in Carolina last year and in Baltimore the year before that. You're looking for 20. I'll give you 20 right now off the street, just off the training he's been doing in Houston, So I would be shocked if he didn't. I fully expect him to be out on the field Sunday. Yep. So
the D-line conversation.
What's been the rotation, Sky? What's been the rotation? Is Sam and Fowler first, or Nealon and Ezraku. How this rotation been going?
I think you had it right with the former, but the thing is, who starts kind of really doesn't matter because they all rotate so heavily.
Right.
But
Yeah,
it's a tricky situation because I'm with you, Foots. Less snaps for Fowler and Sam, more snap. But here's the problem: the way Whitecott wants these guys playing, he wants them running till their lungs are on fire to rotate.
yeah.
So
That's true.
without a Mike, because I think the thought was, okay, Micah was going to be our 50 snap guy. That he was going to be able to put this thing in order to where, okay, it's cool if they're only getting 15, 20, 25 snaps because Micah's our lead dog here. But now when you take him out the picture and you don't have that type of dynamic rusher, all those snaps have to increase. And I hate to say it, at the end of the day, they're all Jags right now. No disrespect. Right at this moment, they're all just guys out there. And that's being nice to a guy like Sam and Donovan and Fowler because they're not playing like just guys. They're actually playing worse than that. So when you do that, it puts more pressure, it's more snaps, and it means it's less quality snaps. And that just does nothing for you if you're not going to help them out because right now they just don't have it as individuals to get home.
On a snap in, snap out basis, Sky, you couldn't have said it better, bro. I would. It may send a bad message, but right now I don't care. Like, bro, I would start Jadeveon Clowney. Like,
I agree.
He's the most seasoned. If you go look at his Carolina tape, he's fine. Like with him and Clark, these guys are gonna roll. He said he wanted to be here because of Clark. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, that was part of the reason why he was, talk to his agent. Clark's here. I'll have help. Like so. And maybe some of these guys can learn from Clowney, learn how he's doing things, learn how he's setting guys up. Because right now, it just looks like, even with Donovan, there was a rush last week where these guys aren't attaching. They're playing like magnets. And that's the part to me. I mean, excuse me, they are attaching. They're not disengaging. And that's the part to me where it's like, okay, guys, I know Micah's not here, but did you guys, for all the stuff y'all do and all these, are we forgetting how to play the game? Are we forgetting? Yeah. Are we forgetting down and distance? It's third down. We can hit them with a speed rush here. Let's make them step up into something. There's none of that. So,
but you know what you're saying,
no
though,
rush
Foots?
plan.
Yeah. You're saying that the shift in the lines have always been slanted, right, towards Parsons when he was here, and you're saying that these guys are normally going up against one-on-one. So now teams can play these guys straight up. Now these guys don't have to really worry about that impactful player that you got to worry about that can shoot from the edge, C gap, or shoot inside the A or B gap. So it makes it more difficult for everybody on this line to create and get production. And we're seeing it now in the physical form.
And then just think about it from an offensive line standpoint. When you go into a game like that as the opposing offensive line, like I've never played the offensive line, but I can tell you right now, I'd feel real confident if you told me, hey, they're not going to bring any blitzes. So just worry about these four guys up front. You'll be fine. They don't bring any extra guys. You just got to worry about these four. I would have a lot of confidence if I was playing against that.
Right. Yeah, just these four, and it's not like it's Myles Garrett over there.
Right.
It's just these four, and these are just guys. And no, love what Kenny Clark and Osa can do on the interior, but it's easier to take those guys away unless you're, the elite of the elites. The Warren Sapps of the worlds, the Aaron Donalds of the worlds, and while Kenny is a very fine defensive tackle, he ain't that, which is why you don't see consistent pressure each series by him like you may have, or guys, double, triple teaming like you see with some of the top end guys. So this is tough. It's a tough ask when you don't replace a dynamic rusher and you just think the answer is just getting better on the interior and without replacing that. No, you need both. Like it's proven to you right now, you need both. And until they can find that, for this game, Foots, I think they need to send extra guys.
Hey, look. So Sky, one of your changes, it sounds like pressure. Let me ask you this.
When you say changes, you meant like changes to beat the Packers or
just change in general. I want your breakdown on how to attack the Packers and what you saw on film. But just honestly, we can spend a whole show on changes needing to be made. But we'll go in our 30-minute block. But Sky, isn't just sending more pressure, Sims, corners, keeping them
I
all
would love
balanced.
to see more Sims, but I'll just so we don't stick on the front. I'll go to the back end. I'd like to see changes back there. I'd
Talk
like
about
to see
it still. Stay there.
Thomas. Again, I'm not. By the way, because if he go out there and get cooked, I'm not saying he's the solution. I'm saying I'd like to see him out there, though, to see if he might be the answer. Because you know how that's going to be. I was talking about Wanye Thomas. Relax. Either it's Wanye or it's Donovan. Which I want to do, right? So I would like to see Wanye get a chance to prove he ain't the guy if you believe he's not the guy. I like to see Bell get a chance. Let's see. I'd rather Ruddy Stewart. You mentioned this. I don't know if it was in the chat or not. Ruddy Stewart's my slot corner from here on out. That's it.
I'd keep him.
He's the one guy that knows this scheme the best. And then when it is Bland and Diggs, and I know Diggs, y'all press the button because if you say the word Diggs around, when you say
Toxic
Diggs,
already started it.
Okay, I know. I would go with Diggs and Bland on the exterior, right on the boundary, and then Elam would just be your next guy. But you ain't got too many choices. You gotta pick one of the damn two. So give me Diggs.
Right.
Law, you got any changes?
You know what you say, Sky and Foots and John? It's not like we're the 11th ranked defense and we're worried about that. We're the 31st ranked defense. How worse can you get? You know
Right.
what I mean? What you want to do? Shoot for 32nd. Put the new bodies out there, you know? You can't get no worse than this almost, you know?
Yeah, you're 31st in EPA per play, defensive EPA per play. You have 20. This is the stat I'm just going to keep rolling with. You have 5 touchdowns. These aren't pass catches. You're touchdowns over 25 yards.
Bro,
like they're not getting these guys to the ground. They're scoring points.
13 plays of 25 plus yards through the air in 2 games. That's insane.
That stat right there is the one why I say they need to blitz more. Because if you weren't giving up those big plays, but it just was a bad defense that gave up a lot of yards, like long drives and stuff, I'd say, okay, I can understand why you don't want to blitz. You don't want to give up the big play. You're giving up a ton of big plays anyway. Take some chances. I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Okay. So we got changes, blitz, and we're gonna talk about this Green Bay game. Who I just think that it's winnable. I think that I'm not saying the Cowboys are gonna win. They have to execute, but I think the offense, especially running ball wise, but we'll get to that. But John asked a really good question, and John, I commend you. Can we all get claps in the comment section for John Machota? Can I get a drop, Sky, a clap, drop, a celebration, something?
I can't.
There we go. Hey, you know what? I wish I had, Sky. I wish I had Jay-Z's. Thank you. Far too kind. Can you get it for me, Sky?
I got you. Yeah.
Okay, bet. So, Sky, while he's working on that for John Machota. John Machota. This is why you need to be listening to the Cowboys Collective. He literally took something that we talked about on this show to Brian Schottenheimer's desk. What a question, John. He said, listen, with you having to deal with the offensive work, I don't know. John, you talk about it. Talk about what you asked him in his answer, because I want to talk about this.
Yeah, he's pretty candid about things. So I was wondering if, because the defense has been so bad, and he is also the head coach, has these last 2 games led to him maybe doing a little bit more with the defense than he had planned to. Now, he does have a lot on his plate because he's obviously the one calling the offense, and he's got to prepare an offensive game plan and get ready to call an offensive game. But has it led to him doing any more defensively? And he really didn't say that it has, but I was interested because he is the type of guy that would say, yeah, I've been spending a little bit more in this meeting or whatever like that. And I don't think he wants to say that right now because it's only 3 games in. And if he's saying that, then it's almost like, well, then I don't have full trust in Matt Eberflus, who has not only been a defensive coordinator in the NFL, but he's also been a head coach in the league. So I think that he doesn't want to act like he's, let me go step in here and tell you how to do your job type thing. But let this keep happening, and something's going to have to change. Something's going to have to be forced because you can't just keep going out here doing the same exact thing. And I also asked it specifically because of this matchup, because of the fact of, you can make the argument that the Cowboys have been on a downfall since that last time they played the Packers. You can make the argument that they have never recovered from that playoff loss. And I have never seen Jordan Love play better than he did in that game. And now he comes to town, and I know he's got a couple of receivers banged up, but he's going to be playing in that same building. And I would imagine that would build some confidence. But then he's also going to play in that same building, and the best player he went against is now on his team. So I don't understand how his confidence wouldn't be through the roof in this game. So that's why I'm like, if you're not doing any,
I didn't even think of it that way.
If you're not doing any defensive changes, and you're allowing Russell Wilson and Caleb Williams to look like, that they're Hall of Famers, then what are you going to do against the guy who, he was just incredible in that game, in that playoff game. Nothing fazed him. He was He was incredible. I mean, I make the argument that I'm not going to say single-handedly, but that was a huge chunk of the reason why I think that they gave him the massive contract they did that offseason, because of that game and how good he looked in that game. So I don't think you can keep running the same stuff you did against some of these other guys. I think he'll tear that up if you do that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and I just remember we talked about, John, at a point, Shotty's going to have to – you're the head coach. You know what I mean? And so I appreciate you for asking that, man. Thank you. Far too kind, as Hov would say. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you for doing that, John. Yeah, because listen, at the end of the day, this falls under Brian Schottenheimer's umbrella, because Eberflus is, I mean, he's gonna get the blame, but we know Jerry's not gonna fire him. And at a point, if I'm Shotty and I hear things going over that headset, now mind you, we said that he's getting his game plan together the whole nine. So I don't know about the one word call thing though. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because
that's the Mike Nolan.
Yeah, like I was trying to stay patient, you know, being a coach that I am. I'm like, hold on, time out. Don't start. I'm gonna tell you what I did like about Shotty. Shotty hasn't changed his energy one bit. I love that. Don't change because it's adversity. I love that, John. But I don't like hearing one word call, Sky. I don't, because now it's like, remember what I said when we talked about this still. If you start getting too simple, that's not good either. Like, that is not the answer, Matt. So one word call, I don't know. You know.
Yeah,
I mean, you're one step away from just being in college and you're just holding up the signs
college
with Tupac on it.
We talking about now you, my team. Let me
one word calls is high school as hell.
It's high school as hell, but here's my thoughts on it with Jordan Love. He by far probably be our best quarterback that we have played this season, but he can get rattled. You can move him off his marker, and you got to throw him some different looks. Even though we don't have the kind of caliber of defense that the Cleveland Browns did last week, I think that we can probably replicate it if we blitz, like John said. And if it's one word calls on the defense, is simplified. Be where your feet at. Let these guys play. Sky, I think you said it on one of the shows before. We was listening into like what they were saying, like release us. Well, they need to release these guys and let them play, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's you just have to heat them up, because if you watch, and we had a heated discussion in the back about this Browns-Packers game. You're not wrong in that if you had the equipment to pressure this Packers offensive line, you can maybe do some things, because the Browns had that. The Browns were equipped to, and boy, did they make the reason why it was a struggle for Love in that game was because at the top of his drop, when that back foot hit, he was uncomfortable right away. And that's the difference between a legitimate pass rush and we got 19 pressures. Well, if the 19 pressures are after 4.5 seconds, doesn't matter. They were pressuring him at the top of his drops. How many times have we seen over the last 2 weeks? You can even count the first week. It's drop back, and we're going through 2-3 reads, and then there may be some pressure, or then we're taking off running. There's not enough quick pressure. Well, they don't have that problem in Cleveland. But if you're able to do that, then Jordan Love starts looking like Rex Grossman sometimes.
I mean, he has some moments.
He will make the most boneheaded decision I've ever seen in my life. Now, not saying that's what happened on the pick against the Browns. That was just a fantastic call. That was him. It was really the Dak Prescott pick against the Packers. He had an idea where he was going. He got the look. What he didn't take into account was the dude dropping in that area. Pick.
No, even in week 1, man, when they were rolling that opener against Detroit where they blew out the Lions, they're in the second half. There are back-to-back throws that one gets tipped or it gets dropped by the linebacker, and then the other one, the very next throw, it gets picked off, but then it gets called back because
penalty. Yeah, I think I remember that.
But it was like 2 back-to-back throws where you're just like,
don't do that.
He's short circuits,
don't even
John.
have to get first downs right now. Your defense is owning this game. Like, don't throw this thing away right now. So yeah, by no means, like let me be clear, I'm not putting Jordan Love in that top tier. You know, where that I think top 4 or 5 guys.
Though, and that's all you have to be.
Yeah, he can play. Like that game, the last time he played the Cowboys, he played at that top 5 level. I mean, he was just, anything that he threw, didn't matter what. But that's not what he is all the time. He can also do some stuff where you're like, I don't know, maybe he's like the 12th best quarterback, you know? But
Dak is clearly playing better. That's not even a question.
Neither is Caleb Williams. The problem is if you are a capable starting quarterback in this league, and you're not pressured, and you got that type of coverage, it's 7-on-7 ball, Foots, right? It's
you're right.
Ball. So if you're not going to heat him up, and we can't get home with 4, I don't know how you're going to be successful. And I know that they haven't run the ball great, but no offense, I don't want to say who cares to dismiss what you're saying or anybody is saying.
That was our thing. Yeah,
honestly,
pre-show.
No, not you.
Right.
Honestly, don't care if we stop them on the ground. That doesn't matter to me, because you have done that already before, and teams have lit your ass up because you can't cover on the back end. I'm confident they'll be okay against the run. But what happens when they got to pass? Do you think they're afraid of anybody? You think they're afraid of your scheme? No, so they got to figure that out.
Those cut-ups that you put up last show, Sky, with just how open the guys were, like that's one of those things where when any other team sees that, forget fans and what we're doing or anything like that. Like when any other team sees that, they have to be like, oh my, they don't have a clue. Like they're not going to say that in the media, but when you see that, they're looking at that being like, I'm not saying it's going to be like this every play, but there are going to be plays to be made on this defense. They're clearly not on the same page. Be patient. Don't force anything. They'll give you an opportunity. You know, that's the way they have to be looking at this going into this game.
And go ahead, Sky.
Whenever we get to the other side of the ball, that's how we're going to have to win this game. But whenever
I was going to say I got to depart, but I was going to say this one thing, man. As far as the Cowboys versus Green Bay, can I just give y'all my score prediction?
Sure.
Go ahead, man.
Sleep on it. You know, my score prediction will be Cowboys 30, Green Bay 28. We're going to figure out a way to.
Wow.
I'm going with the Cowboys. We're going to be victorious in this game, man. We still going to put up 30 points. Somehow, we undefeated at the house. Until we lose at the house, I'm going to bet on the house, man. I know I'm the only guy with the last shred of hope left in my veins or in my beard, man. Hopefully, the Cowboys can be victorious in that way. All
right, man. Much love. What's up, Law? We'll let you go, buddy.
Hey, Law, hope you right, bro.
Wait, are you jumping off, Law, or no?
Yeah, I gotta run.
Yeah, just go to the 3 joint. Go to the 3 joint.
Yeah. All right. So for me,
there we go.
Clean. Hey, we got options, baby.
Out to you, Tori.
So actually, let's get this read done. All right. So I don't know if you guys are noticing, but I got me a new hat on, Johnny. So you guys see the bells and whistles, right? The Cowboys Collective, the best podcast in the world. We have sponsors, and we want to give a special shout out to Brunt. Amazing workwear, and me and Sky are gonna tag team this read, because I in all seriousness though, Sky, you see I've been wearing this on all my content, Sky.
Yeah, you have.
Like I've gotten comfortable with it. It's very durable. When I'm out coaching, I wear it, throw it to the back. I don't have it all dusted up. It's, you know, some of those hats get that gray. You start looking like you homeless. It ain't none of that, Johnny. I don't look homeless, brother. You feel what I'm saying? And Brunt, man, it just got that sleek look, man. So shout out to Brunt for sponsoring this channel.
Hell yeah. And look, we got a lot of hardworking people that listen to this show and our content. And I'm talking about people that do that real grunt work.
It's right? Clean, boy.
That's out there building roads and train tracks and shit. Like, shouts out to y'all. Y'all doing some stuff. But if you want to be protected, kind of look fly a little bit too, and comfortable, they sell these boots, man. And they sent me some to try on so I could talk to y'all about how they feel. I'm not playing. These are one of the most comfortable boots I've had on. I wear different type of boots being up here from the East Coast, and we all can agree they ain't the most comfortable. They take some time to break in. Not these bad boys. If you out there doing some real grunt work, man, hit up Brunt. They got your comfortability, and it's stylish, and it's safe.
Hey, man, me and Sky were talking about these pre-show, and it's like, this ain't just for the read, y'all. This is cool. Like, use our we got a promo code, right, Sky?
I believe Cowboys Collective, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just you go ahead.
Yeah. Our promo code, if it's Cowboys Collective,
promo code Cowboys for Brunt.
Use promo code Cowboys, guys. It's smooth, y'all. Like, it's real smooth. And me and Sky was thinking about, you know what? When he come down to DC, come check a game, he might wear his Brunt boots. So I'm just saying, if it's November, Sky, it's kind of chilly out. You never know.
If it's snowing or something.
All right.
Let's not do this to Brunt. Shouts out to you, Brunt.
Listen, guys. This has been a great show. Now we're gonna get into what the film says and really try to talk our way to a Cowboys victory. But we'll be honest. I mean, the Cowboys are dogs for a reason. We're not gonna sell you guys copium. They have to execute and they have to do some things. I'll start with the Green Bay defense. If you good with that, Sky?
Go ahead and follow
okay,
you,
cool. Yep. So I'll start with the Green Bay defense and just what you see from these guys, man. I'm not even going to get to the numbers. All I'm going to talk about is Green Bay speed. Quay Walker, Edgerrin Cooper, a guy that Cowboys fans should be familiar with out of Texas A&M. Plays down by the line, runs sideline to sideline. They'll blitz him. The two that have been sneaky impressive, well, one for sure is Keyshawn Nixon. He's been sneaky because, again, when you have that rush like that, he'll put hands on you. He'll put hands on you. He'll beat you up, and he will definitely get grabby and put he'll fight through the ball. So where we're not seeing those passes being defensed for the Cowboys, and you're seeing Cowboys 10 yards off the ball, you turn on Jeff Hafley, former Boston College, they're in your face. Like they're playing, man.
But because somebody said last time Dak played this defense, he threw for 403 touchdowns. My man, you think this is the same defense?
Nah, this is a top 10 defense by far. And
wait. The last time that Dak played, you're not talking about the Packers defense.
Yes, he's talking about the Packers.
Yeah, I don't remember
some balls going the other way. That's all I remember.
I think it was a lot of that in garbage time without the game. And Dak, I'm not worried about Dak. I'm just talking about they're good, y'all. Like
I don't think Dak Prescott would look at the last time they played the Packers like that was a good.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. No,
I don't think he's thinking that.
The one thing that I will say is Quinshon Judkins and Kevin Stefanski and those guys did find a couple running lanes. They have a defensive tackle line room that if you can move them, like this game, I'd be running behind Tyler Smith. Really, any game you'd be running behind Tyler Smith. But what is this, 4 for Tyler Smith? Is it 3 or 4? Yeah, I think it's year 4.
It's 4.
Tyler Smith. So in his 4th year, with the strength that he has, I'd be trying to design everything to that left side. And even Tyler Guyton put some nice run blocking reps on film. The scary part about, if you want to talk about our offense versus their defense and what I saw is, that they're going to roll protection to Micah Parsons, as they should. It is what it is when he's in the game. Rashawn Gary is really good. Like he's one of those guys that and he has some plays in this game where they got to Flacco. He caught the edge right away. So you're going to need these tackles to step up. The problem with our tackles is they've been, I won't say that, Steele has been worse than Guyton. Guyton just has a moment or two every game that you're just like, man, Tyler, you're so close. And then you'll see him maul somebody on a run block. But I'm looking at the good in what Guyton's done. Still, it's really getting
it's more the same for Steele. I mean, he's always been this. I mean, he wasn't technically. He had a bad sack in the Packers game. I think him and Guyton graded 63, not the 3. They were fine against a very poor pass rush. So think about that. They had their struggles against it too. Poor pass rush. When they had to play against a top pass rush, what happened in that Giants game? They were getting whooped. Yeah. They were getting whooped in that game. And this
would you come off it still? And would you just go ahead and make the move to Nate Thomas?
If they're going to put TJ Bass at guard, yes. I mean, I look into it. I have them compete. But if not, I would put Nate Thomas at guard. But that's a different discussion we haven't had. I don't want to see Nate at guard.
I haven't thought about that in a while, actually.
Yeah, I want to see Nate at guard.
Especially with his power. Yeah, because the problem that scares me with Bass is I don't know if you're going to be able to get movement. With him and Brock, Brock's good, like wall-off guy and talk after the play, but he gets no movement, and that's the problem.
After the play,
he's definitely talk after the play guy, John. So that's what
he's gonna try. He's gonna try and get into it with Mike.
For sure, and that's what I have on them. Xavier, like they're good on every level, guys. It just is what it is. The funny thing about them is they switched the receiver to a corner and Bo Melton, so I think that's kind of funny. He was a receiver at one point. Now he's a corner. I mean, he's actually on the roster. Their third level, Xavier McKinney, Giants again, letting go of a great player, getting him to a good team, and he's a guy. Like Xavier McKinney can play on the roof. He's sideline to sideline. He's good. So you have your work cut out for you this week. I have my thoughts on how I would attack them, but what do you guys think as far as attacking this Green Bay defense?
Good breakdown there, Foots. I'll try to keep it short and sweet and simple. I'm running the ball 40, 45 times in this game.
Hello.
And it's not because they're very good at defending the run. I mean, like really good. I had to go back and do a little bit more deep diving into the Browns game because I went into that looking at the stats like, oh, Judkins went off. But then I watched the game. I was like, oh, he didn't. He just had 2 big runs at the end of the game that led to guess how many points? 3. So, I mean, it was 3.1 yards per carry.
Yeah, their red zone defense is good.
90% of that game. And then he ripped off a 14 and a 38-yarder at the end. So I say that to say this is a tough run defense, but it's a ridiculous front 7 in the pass game. And you are not good at pass blocking. You're not good at it. You might you have its moments, but you're not good at it just quite yet at the tackle position. So in order to kind of keep them at bay, slow this game all the way down. A lot of play action, make those ends or make the blitz have to think for a quick second. And I know it's going to look ugly. Like, it's going to look like 3.1 yards per carry for a lot of this game. You just need Javonte Williams to make a guy miss one time and maybe get in scoring position. But in order for that to happen, you got to have what the Browns did. They had a defense that kept them in the game the entire way and got a turnover. Dallas has 1 on the season, right? 1. And
do they have 1?
The last play of the game, or the interception against, and then they barely
it took overtime.
Yeah, it took overtime. They have none in 4 quarters. That's crazy. I didn't think about that. Yeah. But they had a defense that kept
them. What are the ones that are close that we're forgetting about? Like, what?
They don't even defense these guys.
The one that screenshot I sent you, when the ball got tipped in the air and Kenneth Murray celebrating and running to the ball to pick it off. I mean, what are we doing? But anyway, run the ball a lot, slow this game down. Offensively, I'm talking. They got to do their job, and you got to get points, kicks, end drives on kicks, no turnovers.
John,
yeah, the big thing on their defense for me is that I just don't think that they're close to having played what they can be. And I mean, Micah Parsons is great, but you didn't have him. You didn't have him in training camp at all. You're kind of adding him right before week 1, and so he's got to kind of hit the ground running with a brand new team, but. I know they believe that Edgerrin Cooper has star potential. I don't think he's played up to it yet this year, but I think he's got some real star potential. And then the same thing is with Van Ness. Like, he hasn't reached what he could be, but I think playing opposite of Micah Parsons, I think you could get something out of him. That this is a championship level defense. That's the thing. Like, they don't really need to be great on offense. This defense was going to be good before Micah Parsons, and so
he's elevated them because they had one of the worst pass rushes in the league last year, which hence why they decided to jump on this. And all of a sudden, Lucas Van Ness is looking amazing. Rashawn Gary, who's a good player, looks even better. Yeah. I don't think that's by coincidence.
No question about that.
You're right, still.
I've heard some rumors that Gary was the one that they wanted before they ended up agreeing on Kenny Clark, but that wouldn't surprise me. I don't have that like officially or anything like that, but. That would have been interesting because he's obviously playing really well right now. But that's not to say the Cowboys aren't happy with Kenny Clark, though. They do like him. He's obviously older. But yeah, no, they're loaded, man. They're loaded on all 3 levels. So if you're able to score points against them, especially without CeeDee Lamb, that gives you a lot of positive vibes going forward. When we talk about running the ball over and over against them, that sounds good, and that is the path for them to win the game. But that's much easier said than done.
Very much so.
Let's talk about Javonte Williams and the surprise that he's been. Where are you guys at as far as like faith in him? Lots of faith, Sky. You feeling good?
Yeah, he's when they didn't draft a guy, I'm like, that's your RB1. I mean, not that I didn't think he was going to perform like this, but I'm like, that's the guy. I mean, he's the guy that can pass block. He's a guy that's the power guy that fits the scheme. When he's healthy, he's a quality back talent-wise, but he's not going to be the big play guy. Granted, he's made some big plays, so you need to compliment him. That's at that point, it was looking for a compliment. I thought they would go and draft a workhorse top guy. They didn't do that, but pleasantly surprised at the efficient level he's playing. But really, I shouldn't be because of Clayton Adams. You could look at his resume.
I thought you were gonna lead with that still, but
I gotta give him credit.
You giving him credit, respect. Yeah,
but I shouldn't be because Clayton gets the best out of these type of guys with his scheme.
All right, let me give you guys some parameters. Then we're gonna set this to. This is the tiers that we're putting these on. So for me, number 1 is 2016 Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay.
Number 2 even though the stats were better. But number 2 for me is 2014 DeMarco Murray.
Okay.
And then the third tier would be Tony Pollard, right around that, I guess 23, maybe
22. I think it was 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you got Rico Dowdle last year.
I'll take him over Rico.
Above Rico.
Yes.
But I'm not to the Tony Pollard one yet.
I think so. So, all right.
Fair.
For John, I'm glad you said this. This is a great debate. And I think what you have to do with these linebackers who want to play sideline to sideline, I do think that Cooper's a star. But Quay Walker has had his struggles. Now he looks better because Mike is there, but they were down on him.
Quay Walker, he's number 1 on my list of somebody that Hoffman could draw some flags on. He can do some stuff.
Didn't he get kicked out? He got kicked out of a game last year.
Yeah, he's a wild card. John, he plays like that. Card. He plays like that too. And so what I'm saying is, because he plays in the middle of that defense, I want him in. Because one thing I will say about Javonte Williams, it ain't no tapping him out.
No.
Bro, the collisions with him and Byard, bro, I don't know how Byard kept coming downhill because their backers didn't want to tackle him. Like, you could see it. It was Byard coming from the roof, Sky, and filling the alley. I'm like, man, you going to hurt yourself because Tay a big dude. And so I think where I'm at with it, as much as I do love Pollard, I think that the home run ability, Pollard, yes. But what Sky's saying for Clayton Adams and how he wants to lean on you and how he's always said violence. What did he say all offseason, John? I want a violent team. Javonte Williams, ladies and gentlemen, has shown he's going to run the ball violently. So I'm kind of somewhere in that tier. No, he's not DeMarco Murray. 1,800 yards was special. I don't care who's blocking. And Zeke was the full package. But I think that with Javonte Williams, if they can figure out blue, you can have something special here, man. Because, hey, listen, Quay Walker's also a lighter linebacker. You need to run the way that Clayton Adams has designed this run game, running at them. That's what can win. But then now you need also a speed back who can change it up. Now you've been tackling this. Now we'll get a speed guy who can get in there and hit it. So, and Miles isn't going to be that. It would need to be blue. It would need to be Jadeveon Blue. This would be the perfect game to have that 1-2 punch.
And it could be. But that's where I'm good on the running game there. Maybe sprinkle in a little Cavante Turpin if you want. But I can tell you right now, the thing I don't want to see, there does not need to be any design runs for number 4. You don't need to turn
not against this team.
It's already looking like 2020. You don't have to seal the deal and make it 2020 for sure by doing some stupid stuff where you're having him run the football. It's not needed. Don't do that. He's 32 years old. Not necessary.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those games where, I'm not a big fan because I don't think Javonte Williams is a guy that you want to give 300 carries to in the season, 300 plus carries to in the season. But there's going to be moments where we even said this, if they had a tandem, is there a guy that you can hand the ball off to 20 plus times at some point? This is the game. This is the game where Javonte Williams will finish with 28 carries, 33 touches or something crazy like that. I know that's a lot, but I have no faith in Miles Sanders to do much of anything. Now, he's been kind of better than that first game, but, nothing to really write home about. And that's what made Pollard, I think, special, is that Pollard didn't have to be 20, 25 touch a guy in 2022 because you had those carries going to Ezekiel Elliott. Well, Javonte doesn't have that 2 guy right now. So, I don't think he's going to be able to be as dynamic because he's not. Because those plays where he's not dynamic, you see that's not his game. He doesn't have the wiggle. He doesn't have the burst, But if he has the runway and he has a little bit of space to kind of, fit through there, he'll make it tough to bring down. That's why he's a great complimentary back. But you don't have the complement. And, last week we ran the ball 20 times. 9 carries went to Sanders. You give 7 of those carries to Javonte, hey, who knows? Right? Because those boys weren't. But you gave 9 carries. I don't need 9 carries to go to. This is the game where you got to go to grab him by the face mask. You know how the coaches do. Grab him by the face mask. It's on you, big dog. Until you can't breathe. Okay? Until you can't breathe. Like, seriously, don't come out this game until you can't breathe. And then we'll pull you out. Because he's the guy that's going to have to make this a lumbering, slow game and punish these defenders up front. Run at Micah, run at Quay, run at Coop, and make them feel him. right? Pause. Make them feel him, and then by the time it gets to the end of the game, if it's close, then he might be able to break a long run.
What happened to Hunter Lipke, you guys?
Bro,
I don't know.
Hold on, John.
I don't know, John. That's a good question. That's a great
because
question.
I need to know.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable to me.
He was asked earlier. He was asked earlier this week, and Schottenheimer was, and he gave a lot of positive takes and all the things. I mean, he literally sounded like he did during training camp talking about him. And then the action speaking louder than words was they gave him the contract extension right before. And so far we've seen 9 offensive snaps against Chicago, 14 against the Giants, and then 8 against Philadelphia.
You see him running down on kicks and stuff, but they will not put him in the game, which is just baffling.
I would give him the carries more before I give Sanders.
I was just about to say that. I would too for 1,000.
Yeah,
bro. And that's what makes me think. That's what makes me think too, Sky. When Moffitt gets back, they may just go hammer on hammer, bro. There's no way they're watching Miles Sanders and saying, man, the way we're blocking this with the way Booker and them are getting guys out of there, that I listen to Clayton talk. You can't tell me, Sky. He's like, man, we can get more, So I don't know if that's an upper decision. I don't know. It's just strange to me.
It's frustrating because, and now I'm kind of getting overtime a bit here. It's frustrating to me because I see potential in a dynamic type of duo that isn't that difficult to obtain in a way you're blocking it, calling it, running it, scheming it, coaching it. It's not hard to go get a explosive type of back. I know you might say, oh, well, Sky, there's not that many. There's a ton of backs that have explosion as a skill set. They may not have much else, but they bring that to the table. Fam, pick up the damn phone. Go tell your scouts, look, if you don't believe in blue, cool, but let's go find a Isaac Garendo. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? DeAndre, I know Swift was a high, pick, but he was on his way out. They traded for, Philly traded for him. He had a fantastic year. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of those in this league on rosters, guys. We probably don't even know just yet. Sanders ain't it. Blue's not it right now. Javonte needs another guy. It's not that, what is so hard to pick up the phone and go bring that guy? Look, I like Malik. It ain't Malik either, but Malik Davis is cool, but that ain't what I'm talking about. A legitimate lightning to his thunder. That's what's frustrating. You have the ingredients of it's a good run game, but I'm talking about a weapon, a run game where you can score big points off of outside of 10 yards. They refuse to do that, or they refuse to bring up blue. So that's why
Sky, watching Detroit, who lost Ben Johnson, just consistently run at Baltimore. It's like, wow. I mean, this is what a 1-2 punch looks like.
Yes.
Where it's like you get Montgomery, he's going to go to your body, and then late in the game, go chase Gibbs around. And it's like, that's what we're waiting on, and we got our Montgomery. We need our speed. I think another note that I wanted to make, just talking about attacking their defense, I think you got to get your tight ends involved. I think you have to be in 12 and 13 personnels, and you got to have guys that they forget about. Preferably, I have Schoonmaker off the field, and I would play Brevin Spann more, and I would have him blocking, leaking out. I do the same for Ferg. Ferg is going to be on the scouting report. He had 13 catches or 12 catches, what it was last week. So, but I just would.
Those, by the way, you want to hear something depressing about those?
Yo.
12 actual real receptions. One of the receptions with 12 seconds left in the first half. Of those 12, 8 or 9, I can't remember if it was 8 or 9, were either chips or him going straight to the flats and getting the ball right away.
Yeah.
That's crazy. He had one target where he ran past 10 yards, and it was a 16-yarder where he routed up Sewell. I'm telling you right now, get ready for fans to be pissed off at the uses of Ferg again. He's not going downfield in this game. It's going to be chips and flats fried hard, because he's going to have to be able to help these tackles. And they're not going. And it's frustrating for me because I think when he's been asked to go downfield, he's been successful, but they're not using them downfield.
ACL said he's got those old Witten legs.
I thought that too. But I'm watching. I'm like, dog, there's 2-3 dudes around him. There's nothing you can do with this. If I'm catching the ball at 1 yard.
He's at the bar eating the flats.
When he was running routes, he don't got them Witten legs then. When he routed up Sewell. He routed up my man in New York too. He routed up somebody in Philly. But he's not being asked to run downfield this last game.
Yeah.
And I don't expect to see it this week. So expect to see a whole lot of that. Expect to see, I hope, like you said, Span 4 on the other side. And you're going to have to live in 12 with, in my opinion, Flournoy and Pickens. And if you do go 13 or 11, I'm sorry, you got to bring in Turk. I mean,
oh yeah.
Just,
if you want to add some juice and
Yeah.
somebody who could kind of stress them, because I do like their one corner, but their other corner can be had. I do like Keyshawn Nixon, but Valentine and Nate Hobbs, you can kind of get to them. All right, Scott, like you said, and we're in overtime. Just give us take your time. I mean, I don't know. John does have a hard stop, but let's take your time real quick, Sky. And I said take your how am I going to tell you to take your time real quick? John, Scott, just give me any thoughts you have on just this defense. Their offense for the Packers.
Against our defense?
Just in general, yeah. What you saw on film.
We kind of talked a lot about it earlier. I think you have to pressure. You have to pressure Love. I do have some semblance of confidence that they'll be able to be solid against the run. I will say this rush attack is going to be a little bit different than the ones you face, because they have a quality back with a quality scheme to match. Where I think in Chicago, they didn't have this caliber of back. They had a decent scheme, but they didn't have this caliber of back, and it's a brand new scheme. The Giants are the Giants. Philly is Philly, and they played them well in the first game, right? But this is going to be the Philly doesn't do a whole lot of window dressing and all that type of stuff. They're pretty just straightforward team. You're going to get a lot of that window dressing in this game. So we saw when Dayball did it a few times, it kind of tripped up the backers a few times, tripped up the ends. Get ready for that. Get ready for, even though there's no Mike on that side, to get those zone split blocks. Them tight ends are still going to come around and try to smack your legs and take them off of you. And then there will be a fake and it'll leak out. So you just got to get ready for them to be physical. I think we've been able to match the physicality in the run game, but there are times in all three games where you're much like the offense, you're asking the run defense to be perfect, and this is not going to happen. There's going to be times where guys break away. So you just hope it's not for a long touchdown run, but they got to be ready for that. If they don't stop that, it's over. But really you got to get the Love. If you don't get the Love, he's going to shred this secondary up.
John?
Yeah, no, not much to add to that. I don't think you even really need to have a great offense to score some points against where this defense is right now. I think the biggest thing is that you just hope that with having Deron Bland back, because I expect him to play, and then you have Jadeveon Clowney helping out, that you add a little something different in there that maybe it makes the defense more sound. But if they play anything close to the way they did last week or the week before, it's not going to matter. Jordan Love can be on his C game, and they're going to score at least 30. So
turnovers, please.
Turnover me, please, bro.
And they are due. I mean, I understand, like I was saying earlier, making jokes about them not being close, but there's got to be something eventually that comes around where, there's the ball's on the ground or something. But a lot of that also does come from the fact that there isn't much pressure on the quarterback. When you get pressure on the quarterback, you can get sack fumbles, you can get quarterbacks making bad decisions and things like that. And there just hasn't been a lot of pressure there. So you're not getting those type of turnovers. But there's got to be a mistake somewhere. There's got to be, do something early in the game like the Bears did to you. And even on a big play, you somehow rip the ball out. And, just that type of a, momentum shifting play could be something that, kind of gets things rolling in the right direction. So, but if you don't, and you just play them straight up, I just don't see any path to beating this Packers team.
Interesting nugget about Josh Jacobs, one of my favorite players. 3 yards a carry versus Detroit, 3.7 yards a carry versus Washington, 1.9 obviously versus a much better defense than Dallas has in Cleveland. They haven't got their run game off the ground. And I know LaFleur loves to live in play action. He has those dynamic tight ends and Musgrave and Tucker Kraft. You got to know who those guys are, where they're going to be. Dallas has to play sound. They have to execute. I saw on film, Sky, they do that spinner handoff. They run that in youth football a lot, where they'll come around and that spinner, and they'll do a lot of action. Like
Washington does that too.
Yeah, it's all that eye candy. That's like old school wing T stuff. I mean, what's his name?
But they modernized it though.
No, they have for sure. Yeah, bro.
You guys
said this.
Your kids?
Huh?
You running wing T with your kids?
You believe it or not, John, I'm in spread at 9 years old, man.
Okay.
I'm teaching these kids duo, inside zone. I don't baby them. But
no, man, I get you run a little wing tee when you have like one really good player.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we'll just run that and he'll be the whole offense. But
John, when my first team, my first cycle coaching, that group is already, some of those kids got offers. And by the way, shout out to Maryland, they're 4-0. And then Syracuse is who's offered like 2 of my kids. They're doing great. Fran Brown out there in Syracuse. But I did that. I ran wing tee. We was, everything had motion on it. So you're playing with those kids' eyes, and then you would do the handoff underneath, and that's all that is, that orbit motion. But anyway,
you ready to see that this week? Not the wing.
Yeah, bro. The point is, man, LaFleur. We've always said this. Still, LaFleur, he's not gonna stay in a rut long when it comes to run game and run design. So you just got to be on your P's and Q's. I do think having Kenny Clark, some people will say, oh, it's not a big. I do think that he will help, especially versus, obviously, because he's a good player versus the run, but he knows how Matt wants to do things. He knows those guys. So
yeah, I feel much better.
He was part of the trade. He made that very. He didn't make that really known after the trade happened, but this week he made it pretty known that he thought he was going to be playing with Micah Parsons. He did not think that he was going to be part of the trade. So I don't think he's very happy, pointing out even that right before that practice that day, Brian Gutekunst is coming up saying hi to him, all the coaches and everything. And he's thinking everything's great and he's staying there. And
Kenny Clark revenge game.
There you go.
Yeah, I think they'll actually be decent against the run again. Like that's not what worries me. They were decent. They were good to decent against the Giants. They were good to decent against the Bears. It didn't matter. They were great against Philly in the second half. It didn't matter. So like, I want to see this pass rush and pass defense improve. I need some type of improvement going into week 5, man.
Yeah.
So
I think we're all praying for that. So, hey man, the best podcast in the world, the Cowboys Collective. Hey, quick shout out to Sleeper. If you guys about to watch Sunday night football,
Thursday,
you guys can tell I'm tired and I'm ready. Get to the weekend. Thursday night football, a good one too tonight, guys.
Hey, one
Cardinals
other I didn't mention earlier, not to jinx anything, but good sign that CeeDee Lamb and Tyler Booker both haven't been put on IR.
Not yet. Yeah.
Hey, John. Good one.
Point.
That's a hell of a pickup too, John. Point made. Yeah.
It's a good point. Then we might see.
I honestly think Booker is going to be long. Yeah, I think
Booker's high ankles can be 4 to 6. So if you think it's going to be 4 to 6, and it makes sense why you put a guy in IR for the 4 weeks, and then whenever he comes back, then that's whatever. But if you don't put him on IR, that's because you think they're going to be back before the 4 weeks. So
John, when did that Booker's injury happen? Do you know, Sky?
It was late in the game, but it's one of those where he got rolled up. I saw the highlight of it. But it does not look like, now CDs, when it happens, you're like, that looks nasty. That's bad. Booker's did not look like it was on that level, like the way he was rolled up and he was able to play through it. He played every snap in the game. So I don't remember it exactly.
But ironically, his is considered worse.
Yeah.
D Lamb's, and Lamb's looked way worse than that.
Yeah. I think it also has to do with obviously a lot of weight being put on it, playing the position he does and things like that. So
I just want to say, guys, I was so wrong about Tyler Booker, and I'm so happy to admit it. He is a guy. Like he's gonna struggle at times with maybe blitz pickup or whatever, but in the run game, Sky, he is different, man. Like I'm year 2 of him, and I know I don't want to push us a year away, but that dude is good, bro. Like I have no problem, and I was out wrong about him, and that
definitely won.
Definitely safe. Hey guys, and if you're watching tonight, good game. You have, is it
Seattle versus
Arizona? Yeah, versus Arizona.
Make sure y'all get y'all sleeper picks in, man. If you haven't picked just yet, use our promo code HMA. Almost get the wrong HMA and get up to $100 deposit match. You still can pick during the games too, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know.
Yeah, the live betting is sick, and they have the plays and the highlights.
I'm about to do it as soon as we get off because I forgot to put my picks in. So
you already know Thursday night football about to go crazy. So hey, you guys enjoy. Make sure that you guys are leaving us. You guys see on the screen Spotify, iTunes. What is that other icon? Do y'all know what that is?
Google Podcasts.
Google Podcasts. Okay. I've never even heard of that, but that's dope. Google Podcasts. Google got the game on lock. So I'm an iTunes guy, Sky, myself, Steve Jobs.
Yeah, I use the Apple Podcast. Yeah.
I mean, everything for me is Apple. It all connects. I mean, I'm not
Hey,
judging
Apple,
nobody,
y'all
I'm
want to
just
sponsor? Holla.
Holla the Cowboys Collective. We got you, baby. Fly us out. Hey, for John Machota, Law Nation, and Sky Steele, hey man, what a great week. Cowboys win big. I'm going there. No, I'm just I would Cowboys winning would are they gonna get a boot? Oh no.
No, that's a good looking boot.
No, we're gonna give Green Bay a boot.
Here we go.
I'm hiding from the screen.
That's an upset alert.
Hey,
yeah.
There you go. Much love, y'all. Enjoy Thursday Night Football. Be safe. We love you all. Thank you so much. Peace. They're low. That's law. Hey, that was a good show, bro.